I think we're in for some big trouble here, so let's get on into it. So I've been getting some pretty disturbing reports up here in Alaska. I got a lot of friends down in the lower 48. They've been bombarding me lately with emails and private messages about things that have been going on around the country. One of the latest reports I've been getting is 30,000 truckers are due to be laid off. And that's going to be affecting Walmart and Home Depot. Let's see, the Yellow Freight Company, I believe that's a union company, they're getting ready to file bankruptcy because they don't have enough money to file the pensions, pay the pensions for that matter. So, I mean, and they employ about 22,000 people there. So we're looking at some serious issues when it comes to our supply chain all over the country, and even up here in Alaska. We kind of rely on the supply chain to keep people fed. Now, there's a lot of other things going on in today's world with, panic buying reported for rice, southern Texas and California in some places, and that's expected to continue to grow throughout the country and potentially have a direct effect on everybody in the world, because the experts are saying that the rice demand is way up there, and India put a ban on shipments of all exports of particular kinds of rice. But I mean, let's get back to the trucking aspect. You know, I'm a truck driver. I've been a truck driver for over 2 decades, and it's pretty concerning when I see trucks in Alaska here. They're shut down sometimes for months, depending on the parts they need. Simple parts like radiators, water pumps, alternators, and this affects all the car parts in the auto industry as well. And the reason behind that is they're not getting the cores that they need in return. So when people are buying new parts, they're not replacing it. They're not bringing in the cores to get them fixed and sent back out into the supply chain. So people are just tossing their cores in the garbage, and they're just, they don't want to get the 25 or 30 bucks or whatever, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Every dollar earned is a dollar saved. But now, with all of this here that's going on, I think we can expect to see the lumber prices are going to go right through the roof again. And Home Depot will probably see a major shortage when it comes to fertilizers and stuff like that. So if these trucking companies are shutting down, that means they're not connecting with other shipping lanes to get things around the country or to the ports where things need to be. But the panic buying in Texas, that's an interesting one for me, and I was a little bit concerned. So as soon as I got out of work yesterday, the first thing I did is I ran around to 3 different stores here in Anchorage. One of the stores I hit up was Nusagaya, and Nusagaya is like it's a fancier Asian food market, in my opinion. And they have some really good stuff and quality produce, in my opinion. They also have a really fantastic fishmonger there that takes care of all your needs for cutting up and doing whatever you need to your fish. Another location that I hit up, of course, is Costco, because Costco is a big supplier of rice and stuff like that. So, and the other market I hit up was called the Red Apple. And the Red Apple is kind of like another Asian food market, but it pretty much caters to that side of town, which is Mountain View. And Mountain View is considered the most diverse population in the country, according to Google. But anyhow, I did visit these 3 locations, and for the time being, I saw plenty of rice on the shelves. Now, the price of rice is pretty high, and I'm going to put up several images on the screen to show you guys what's going on. But it was just baffling to hear about all this stuff and then go into our stores, and thankfully I see plenty of items here in our store. Now, one thing I did want to mention is when I was in the store, I was flipping over bags, I was checking out the names and locations that this rice is coming from. Now, the rice we get here in Alaska typically comes from either Thailand or somewhere in the U.S. Southern California is one of our biggest suppliers for rice up here in Alaska. So for right now, our rice situation here in Alaska is holding pretty strong, and I would expect those prices to increase because, pre-pandemic, or actually during the pandemic, not pre-pandemic, we saw an incredible shortage up here of rice, especially in the Red Apple Mountain View store and other surrounding stores that, like Costco, for instance, that supply a lot of these restaurants with one of their main staples for their ingredients in their restaurants. So that's a big deal. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that the price for rice has gone up considerably since India announced their ban on exports of particular rices around the world. So that's going to have a big effect. So why did India do this? Well, they did it to, curb the domestic inflation, because India is going through their own domestic situation right now where inflation has gone up anywhere from 4 to 12%, depending on the products available at a typical store. So their everyday staples are starting to go up in themselves. Now, they haven't experienced inflation nearly as dramatic as in the West, like in the United States or Europe for that matter, but they are experiencing inflation, and they're victim to what's going on around the world as well. Let's see, it's being said that about approximately 4 billion people rely on exports to feed their families and run their restaurants. So rice is a big thing, and you take that out of the supply chain, there's going to be a big problem, especially basically anywhere in the world. This whole situation has sent Canada and the United States into kind of a setback kind of situation. It put everybody in an uncomfortable situation, that's for sure, because the experts are saying that we're looking at countries around the globe just completely running out of rice altogether, and that's not a good thing. I mean, that's going to be bad for all of us. Let's see here. So right now, many countries are experiencing problems with their rice harvest for this year. They're either experiencing severe droughts or they're experiencing severe flooding. And then to make matters worse, we got Russia over there. They're threatening to blow up basically anything that comes in or out of any Ukraine ports. Ukraine has been well known to supply many countries with products such as wheat, sunflower meal, food oils, and seeds around the globe. So if Russia's over there just lobbing bombs at them, and it's been reported in the last week or so that Russia's been sending several cruise missiles in there to blow up various targets. So they're definitely creating a stir. That's going to affect the global market as it is, and it's going to affect pretty much everybody around the world. This is going to be some trying times. Another product that I expect to go up, since all of this is going on and the supply chain's having a lot of hiccups, we're going to see a pretty dramatic price increase in stuff like paper goods, paper towels, paper plates, toilet paper for that matter. And I'm in no means saying, hey, hurry up, go out and buy everything you can, because that's just not what I'm about here. But the big thing is people just need to start opening their eyes and seeing what's really going on right now, because we're starting to enter a turning point with our supply chain. I mean, these issues have been going on for over 2 to 3 years, and we kind of predicted that even before the pandemic started. So, and now they're actually becoming an issue, and people are going to start acting a little strange. Now back to the rice situation. Like I said, I visited 3 major stores, and I saw some very interesting prices on the shelves. Some of the prices, I mean, we're talking like up to $64 for 50-pound bags of rice. Even the smaller rice getting pretty high. We're looking at prices around $59, and for the smaller bags we're looking at $28.99. And let's see, the Apple brand, I believe that brand there is made in the United States, maybe not, but that's looking at about $31.99. In the front of Red Apple, they have these big giant 50-pound bags. They got plenty of rice for right now, but like I said, the prices are super high. We're looking at $69.99 for this particular rice. I did manage to get to Costco and check out some prices over there. Now, another item I noticed at the Red Apple that was under lock and key is, if you would like to purchase corned beef, please inform your cashier when you are checking out. Now, are you guys seeing stuff like this put under lock and key? Now, I guess this is a high theft item, especially with homeless camps growing in just about every neck of the woods right now. But Red Apple did have plenty of pallets of rice for the time being. And I also went around and looked at all of the names, where the product's coming from. So it's either coming from the United States, Thailand, or somewhere Southern California for that matter. Now there was one brand of rice at Costco that I did see specifically that was a product made in India, and that's this brand right here. It's a Kirkland Signature brand, and the bag is made out of cloth. I mean, it's an absolute beautiful bag, and it's almost worth purchasing just to reuse the bag. It's a really nice bag, and I've never even looked at this rice, and this is really the first time I actually dove in and started looking at all the different kinds of rices and seeing where these rices come from. And I was actually surprised to see that more stores didn't carry rice from India. But long story short, it's really not going to matter where the rice is coming from, especially when other countries are having severe issues with their crops. Now, another thing I wanted to mention was Walmart, Home Depot, and Uber are pausing shipments in fear of lost freight or lack of availability. Ooh, that's going to be a crazy situation here for the supply chain. Also, many stores have already limited the purchase of bags of rice down in the lower 48 mainly. I haven't seen anything up here in Alaska at this point, so right now I think we're pretty good for a little while. And if you like videos like these, please leave a comment down below and let us know. Hit that subscribe button and always hit that like button before leaving.